Quazi here. There's a subtle law through which our universe operates that dictates which version of reality we experience. From the ancient Egyptians to the mystics of the East, this powerful concept has been whispered about for centuries. This concept is the idea of identity shifting, which shapes your reality, and by shifting who you are at your very core, you can literally rewrite the story of your life. See, the Hermetic philosophers taught that as within, so without, meaning that your inner world directly shapes your outer experience. In the Bhagavad Gita, the path to self-realization is shown to be the key to transforming one's destiny. And the ancient Egyptians believed in living in harmony with the mat, the principle of truth and balance, to align your life with cosmic order. Over the last 8 years, I have been obsessed with this ancient law of becoming and the concept of identity shifting, and learning how to truly shift your identity to attain a permanent shift in your life. And after having worked with over 1,000 clients and deeply researching ancient teachings, I believe I have finally figured it out over a very big epiphany that I had over the last 4 months. See, there are 3 main principles you must use every single day to shift into the version of yourself that achieves your goals with ease. After I have been able to apply these into my life, not only did it make me a multi-millionaire by the age of 27, but it allowed me to manifest a life that is beyond my wildest dreams. Let's get started with principle number 1. So principle number 1 states, to have what you truly want, you must become who you were meant to be. One of the biggest misconceptions people have about this journey is who they are is defective. Right now, this version of themselves is somehow defective and they need to become someone else, someone more confident, someone more intelligent, someone more X, Y, and Z quality that they perceive. This is a big misconception because they're admitting to themselves one main thing, that who they are right now is not the correct version. So they must pretend to be someone that they're not. And so I want you to look back at your life and think about the goals that you've wanted. Most of the time, you felt this pit in your stomach when you've envisioned a goal of making money and getting to this career top and working hard. And so that feeling of dis-ease or uneasiness within you is your subconscious telling you that this goal isn't right for you and who you are meant to be. Because if you envision the life that you truly want, where you wake up with ease and you're doing the thing that you love and it doesn't feel like you're struggling against something, that is the life that was meant for you. So very easy way to discern your true goals from foreign goals, goals that you were conditioned to want, is when you envision a longer term future of what you would like to do, what you would like to experience, who you would like to hang out with, what you want to have, what you want to do, and who you want to be. When you think about those 3 things, what does it make you feel inside? Do you feel happy, joyous, those light feelings? Or do you feel like something is constricting within you? You're like, oh, I don't want to do that, but I believe I have to because society told me to. I don't want to work hard and then become the CEO of this company. I don't want to, work 80 hours a week, because not everyone wants to grind 80 hours a week and work hard. Some people just want to enjoy the thing that they want to do. And I actually I dislike the word working hard because it implies you're battling against someone. Because hard work naturally follows if you're truly obsessed with something. So for example, if you ask Michael Jordan, there was a parent of a kid who was playing basketball. And the parent asked Michael Jordan, hey, I want my son to be exceptional, the greatest of all time. What does he have to do? How does he get there? And Michael Jordan said, fall in love with the game. Because when you fall in love with the game, you stop counting the hours that you put in. You're just obsessed with it, right? So when someone says, oh, I have to work hard, it typically means that they have this mistaken idea that they need to fight against something. They're not free. They're trapped by this idea that they're holding onto. So when you think about a long-term goal and you feel constricted inside, it just means you're holding onto a false idea that doesn't quite resonate with the true goal that you were meant to achieve, who you were meant to be. And this brings me to the idea of fate versus free will, a very big realization that I came to recently. So if you take these 2 concentric circles, in the middle, the smaller circle would be free will, which is your personal will, okay? This is our inner intention, the petty personal intention that we possess. I'm gonna call this inner intent. This larger circle is outer intention, which is fate or the godly intention. So a lot of people have this misconception that it's either fate or free will. Why not both? Why can't you have the choice within the context of fate? You might be thinking, oh, but then God wants me to do something else. God didn't want me to achieve this goal. God will never want something that you don't want. Because guess what? This concentric circle, this bigger circle is actually, it encapsulates the smaller circle. Whatever you want, God wants for you and more. This is what people fail to understand, and that's why it's so hard to surrender your will to a higher being. So to give you an example of my personal life, when I got started with this journey and I quit my corporate job to start making these videos because I was going to be miserable at a 9-to-5 job, I, took the leap, quit my job, started making YouTube videos. I had no idea how I was going to make it. And my only goal at the time was the highest thing that I wanted was if I made $250,000 a year, 20K a month, and I could just work from my laptop and just have freedom, I would be so happy. My life would be fucking perfect. But I surrendered that to God and I just said, I don't know what's going to happen. A year and a half after I made that intention, not only did I go from absolute zero to starting a YouTube channel, growing it, working with clients, I had no idea what I was going to do and how I was monetize it. Okay, I had no idea it was going to be coaching that I was going to be selling, and I started making $100,000 a month. I started making over $1 million a month, $1 million a year. And so then I was like, well, how did this happen? I didn't even intend for this to happen. This is how it happened. I surrendered my petty intention to this higher intention for what God wanted for my life. And when little things didn't go my way, I didn't insist on trying to fight it. Like, oh, why didn't this happen? Why did this obstacle arise? It wasn't supposed to happen like this. I'm some master of manifestation and everything is supposed to go my way. So I'm now going to try to make it go my way. Instead of doing that, I just trusted, hey, maybe the higher power has something better in store for me. Maybe. I don't know what I don't know. This mind is very limited. Maybe God can see something for my life that I can't see, so I surrendered to it. A surefire way to move towards the life that is beyond your wildest dreams. To know that you're abiding by principle number 1, you'll know that you have surrendered your personal intention to the higher outer intention when your life turns out better than you've imagined. My life currently has turned out way better than I could have ever imagined. To the point where I wake up in the morning, I'm like, holy crap. This must be a dream. I can't believe this is real. This is wonderful. This is amazing. I can't believe I get to do what I love every single day, make videos, watch my channel grow, make as much money as I want, and serve clients and help clients get transformations and work with the team that I want to work with. And I get to take the time off some days in the middle of the day, just go and play golf and do whatever I want, hang out with my family. Like, this is absolutely perfect. This is better than I could have ever imagined it. And I never have to worry about money, knock on wood. I have way more than I could ever need, So this could only happen because I have allowed myself to become who I was meant to be. Instead of trying to be someone who is this 20K a month version and try to make videos a particular way and fake myself and fake being this identity, I actually removed all the false conditionings of who society told me I should be. Oh, you have to be confident. Oh, you have to be an extrovert. Oh, you have to want to succeed. You have to want to make money. So there are very subtle layers of this. Okay, very, very subtle layers of societal conditioning that get to each and every single one of us. But the key I want you to take away is most of the time we use our free will to resist our fate, what we were meant to have. And I can guarantee you the thing that you were meant to have, it's beyond your wildest dreams. Like, if you just surrender your will to God and you just trust that, hey, I don't know what I don't know. And the big epiphany I had that led me to this realization was when I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast. And in it, he was saying, some guy asked him, oh, what vision do you have for your life? What vision do you have for this podcast? He was like, I have no vision for this podcast and where it's going to go. The guy has like a $200, $300 million deal, right? With Spotify, it's like, I have no vision for where this is going to go. I'm just taking it day by day. And every single day, I am focusing on being a better podcaster, being a better father, being a better worker-outer, someone who goes to the gym, someone who's fit, being a better athlete, right? So he is so present to the moment and he's just focusing on taking it one day at a time. one day at a time and focusing on pure being instead of trying to do something better and try to have something like, oh, next step is 500 million, next step is 1 billion, let's get to 1 billion. No, he's focusing on every single day, let me just become 1% better. Let's take it day by day and put one foot in front of the other. That's it. And sure, you might have a grandiose vision of what your life looks like, but you're not attached to it because you are fully present to this moment and embodying who you would be in your ideal right now. You are being that version of yourself right now. You are giving yourself permission to enjoy this sacred moment that is right now and be joyful right now. Feel the feelings that you would feel once you have the mansion, once you have the car, once you're out of debt. You feel those feelings right now. And you view this moment as the journey as, hey, this is the fun movie. This is the game I'm playing. This is my current situation and I'm playing this game to improve my situation every single day. And I'm surrendering my will to God, and I know that what was meant to happen for me will happen. I cannot have anything that I wasn't meant to have. Everything that I have, everything that belongs to me will come to me. There is no need to rush. There is no need to fight against some invisible force. There is no need to insist. Just be as you are. And this actually allows you to unattach from the doing paradigm, where it's like, oh no, I must do something. I must do a technique, right? Because if I don't do anything, how is it going to happen? If you're fully in being and you fully trust the flow of life and you operate as your ideal self, and from the operation in and abiding in your ideal self, you feel like there is no need to do. The uncomfortable thing, my next edge, is to relax and stop doing, stop stressing, and just take it easy. You're going to find things are just going to work out. You're going to find connections, people you meet, or opportunities that you just attract that fall on your lap just because you're in alignment with that. And I can't tell you the number of times it's happened in my life. To give you a direct example of that, last week I took a trip to Vegas to spend a day with Quazi and his team. Maybe you know who Alex Quazi is, maybe you don't, but it's this big influencer who runs, he runs this company called acquisition.com. I paid $50,000 to be in that room for one day, literally for one day, and I just spent Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday just away from work, completely surrendered, no going to my team meetings or whatever. I come back on Monday and turns out we hit a record week the previous week, even though I was gone half the week, right? We hit a $70,000 week, and we've never done that before in 1 week. And so I talked to my manager, I was like, what happened? I was gone. And she was like, well, you left, feels like everything just fell into place. I had a lot of synergy with our salespeople and everyone else in the company, and it just felt like you surrendered, and all of a sudden, everything fell into place. And that's because when I left, I just operated in pure being. I'm like, hey, if things go well, great. If things don't, great. I trust God, and whatever was meant to happen will happen. And so that's the power of you surrendering your little intention, your inner intention, to the grand outer intention. Just trust that when you surrender to the flow of life, whatever you wanted, that and beyond, bigger things will happen. So the key I want you to take away is to unite your petty, lower inner intention with the big outer intention, what God has intended for you. So our free will is used to continually surrender this ego and what it wants, to stop insisting on making everything go my way, and stop trying to control and focus more on directing. Like, hey, it's okay if this didn't go my way. It's okay that I'm losing this game right now. Even if I completely lose it all, maybe it was meant to happen. Maybe something better will come from it. It's your job to continually just remind yourself of that and continually keep on surrendering, keep on stepping into more and more ease. And that is maturity. That's something that's grown within me, especially over the last 3 months when we had a rough patch with business. But the only block to that is the second principle that I'm going to discuss. The block that's preventing you from becoming your true self is a concept called pendulum. So let's get to that right now. Before I get to that, I wanted to announce we have a few slots open if you wanted to work closer together with us. I'm making this video, it's August 31st now, so it's a brand new month. We're looking for 25 new clients. If you want to apply to work closer together with me in our mentorship, you can click right here or go to realitycreator.com/apply to fill up a short application to see if we would be a good fit to work together to take your life to the next level this year. So let's get to principle Number 2, pendulums. So the second principle you must understand is the principle of pendulums. And these are collective, like-minded forces. So if you imagine the concept of a pendulum, it swings. The pendulum has a swing and it's swinging at a particular frequency. And this pendulum swing basically sucks your energy. It uses your energy to keep swinging. What we want to do is suffocate that pendulum. Okay, so this is it's a metaphorical concept, but if you imagine all of the groups around you, groupthink, sports teams, religion, politics, sickness, everything is a pendulum. Everything is a like-minded energy that wants to continually suck your energy. So have you ever found in your life where things are going really, really well, and then all of a sudden someone throws a spanner in the works, or something just happens and it sucks your energy? You know, you just get absorbed by it. When instead you could have just ignored it and moved on, and it would have just dissipated. But for you, you just fall asleep and your mind just gets hijacked. The pendulum hijacks your mind, and then you go into that negative feedback loop, and then you get stuck in that feedback loop for weeks, if not months. I notice this in my business sometimes where things are going really well, but then one tiny little thing happens and I'm like, no, everything has to be perfect. I can't have one dissatisfied client. I can't have one negative review, or I can't have this funnel breaking and this ad not working. Everything must be perfect. And this insistence on perfection is what the pendulum uses to hijack your energy. Okay? So the pendulum actually resonates at the frequency of anger, fear, shame, guilt, the lower energies. So if you have this scale of consciousness, anything below courage is the neutral level, it resonates at pride, it resonates at anger, shame, guilt, apathy, and then it extracts the most energy at anger. So society wants to keep you at anger because it can mobilize you and make you do things that after you do them, you're like, I don't know why the heck I did that. So if you look at mob mentality, sometimes people get into mobs and do things where they can't justify why they did it. And that's groupthink. It hijacks our consciousness. Your consciousness is hijacked and you do things that you don't know why you did it. You become completely reactive because you have completely been absorbed by the influence of the pendulum. Okay? So the number one reason a pendulum will prevent you from becoming your true self is because it convinces you that who you are truly and authentically is not good enough. You have to be someone else. You have to be like the influences that you see. By the way, when someone gains the courage to be authentic and express their true selves, the pendulum has no choice but to put them at the top, and they have other adherents. They make them the star. Like for me, in my instance, I have created a pendulum, and there are constructive pendulums and destructive ones, but this channel itself is an example of a pendulum where, I have followers and people who follow this teaching, but I've only been able to do that because I have been authentic enough to present my content and walk my own path. When you walk your own path for long enough, the pendulum has no choice but to put you at the top and extract the energy of your adherents. This is just the way of life. Like anything that you look at has a pendulum in operation. You can never quite escape the grasp of pendulums until you decide to retreat from society. So the question is, are you giving your energy to a constructive pendulum, aka a pendulum that takes your energy and delivers you to your goal, or are you giving it to a destructive pendulum, a pendulum that takes your energy and then takes you away from your goals? So for example, there are certain groups where people gossip about stuff and it's a destructive pendulum because it doesn't quite get you to your goals and it just puts you in a more negative mindset. Like, single mums who are super proud to talk about how they're single mums and they never want to get married and all men are shitty, right? I don't know why that just came to the top of my mind. Or other gossip groups, right? Where men come together and, talk shit about women and how evil they are, whatever it is, right? So these are all pendulums that may not serve you to where you want to get to. But then there are other constructive pendulums like business masterminds where you get in, everyone gets into a mastermind and everyone's resonating at the same energy. That forms a pendulum, but it allows every single one of them to become more energized and get to the goal that they want to get to, which is business success. Okay? So how pendulums block you is when you start to want to express your true self, immediately you get shut down by some bully or someone else saying, you can't be like that, you have to be like me. Do as I do. That's the rule of the pendulum. Copy me. When you copy me, you are not being authentic. You're not being who you were meant to be. It's as simple as that. And the 3 words that you always have to watch out for is should, must, and have to, or need to. So What do people say? I should get a job because the thing I want to do will never pay. Pendulum convinced you of that. I have to struggle for 40 years before I can finally live. I must become this kind of person to have what I want. And when you say these words, you come from a place of duty. I dislike the word duty or coming from a place of duty because it implies that I do not want to do this. I have to do this. This is a duty. I have to do this. But I can change my perspective to say, you know what? This may be something that I need to do right now, but I can still view it as something I genuinely want to do. You see that? Now you're no longer resisting it and giving your resistance energy to the pendulum. Now you've let your guard down, become authentic, and you do it joyfully. It doesn't matter what you do, it matters how you show up. I can make this video from a place of duty, like, oh, I have to make a video to make sure my sales team gets fed and we get enough leads and, we get enough traffic on the channel and so my channel grows and so I make money. Or I can be like, hey, okay, maybe I do need to make this video because I've committed to making 1 video, 2 videos a week. But what if I actually wanted to make this video? How would I make this video if I actually wanted to make this video? What would I share in this video if I genuinely wanted to make this video? And now, because I'm focusing differently, I'm no longer resisting the pendulum. The pendulum can only feed on resistance energy. When you fight the pendulum, you've lost. You have to refuse to play the pendulum's game. You basically suffocate the pendulum from swinging. When you refuse to play its game and you say, no, I'm playing my own game. You can come in and try to interrupt, but I am playing my own game. And the main way to do that is to become hyper aware when should must-haves are running your life. So anytime I have a should must have, I immediately wake up. That's the key, okay? You immediately wake up and you're like, hold on, this is what's happening. A pendulum is trying to hijack my thinking. It's trying to make me do things that it wants me to do to extract my energy. I refuse. I'm not playing that game. I do this because I want to. Okay? One of my clients, Neil, recently dealt with this when he was transitioning from his medical career to starting his own business. And he really struggled because his parents imposed their will on him. And they were like, oh, you must do this, you have to do this, you should be a doctor, you're a shame if you're not. But his heart wasn't in it. He didn't really want to do that. He wanted to do his own coaching. After we helped him overcome that by waking up, taking control, and not letting guilt run his life, but him being authentically himself, now he has a successful coaching business. Now he's doing what he wants to do, and he enjoys it. He's following the path that he wanted to follow. And he's just gone from people-pleasing and falling into his parents' stories to doubling down on himself and living authentically. When you live authentically, you're going to achieve things that were once beyond your wildest dreams. When you become who you're meant to be, to have what you really want, you must first become who you were truly meant to be. Which brings me to the third principle, which is learning how to live with all gas and no brakes. The true key to shifting into your ideal self and who you're meant to be. So let's get to that right now. The final principle, the most important one, is learning how to shift into your ideal self. But shifting into your ideal self is more of a dropping of your fake self. Because when you drop the fake, when the clouds are removed, the sun is free to shine forth. Okay? So we're dropping the false conditioning and finally stepping into who we were meant to be. So oftentimes, you're going to find that we hide ourselves, parts of ourselves that we're ashamed of. And we waste time in doubts and hesitations. So what we do is we live with 1 foot on the gas and 1 foot on the brake. We have so many clients who come in, they're like, hey, I want to quit my job and gain freedom, just like you did. But intellectually, they think about the money that they want to make and the freedom that they want, but emotionally they're still stuck to, I hate my job, I want to get away from it. They're not emotionally clear on why they truly want that freedom and what it would actually bring, and they're not fully one with that. They still cannot get away from this, this sucks, the debt sucks, the money, the long work hours suck. So their reality is that. So there's an incongruency between what they want and why they want it. Intellectual and emotional incongruency. And because of that, most people never ever move towards what they truly want. What there needs to be is full gas or full brakes. Okay? To give you an example of this, when I started actually making $100,000 a month, I forgot this lesson. right? And I became very, very protective because this was a kind of money that I wasn't used to. So I was very scared of taking risks and ruining it because deep down, I didn't feel like I deserved it. I didn't feel like I deserved making $1 million a year because I was like, oh, I'm so young. You know, my first business that I tried, the first business that I truly tried became a massive success. I don't want to lose it. I love this. I don't want to lose it. So now my intention is I want to grow it, but my intention is also I don't want to lose it. I have the gas on and the brakes on at the same time. What do you think that does? That creates an internal incongruency. So when thinking about growing it, my mentors were like, hey, you need to create an additional product. And for years, they were telling me that. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do it until my business started to stagnate. We went from 100K a month to like 80K a month to even some months doing 50K. We never dropped below like $1 million a year, but it was fluctuating from 1.1 to 1.3 million a year. I was stagnant at that. Not a terrible place to be stuck at, I know, but you still want to grow, right? You still want to play the game, you still want to grow. If you're not growing, you die. So I was reluctant to create a new lower ticket product because I was like, oh, what if this messes everything up? I had this irrational fear of it. Like, I don't want to mess up something that's working. Let's just keep doing more of it, more of this. And so one day I just got so frustrated at having like the same thing happen in my business and stagnating and employee turnover because there wasn't any growth, right? No one wants to work in a company that's just the same all the time. Like, we're growing, we're moving forward, that's what's fun. So I got sick and tired of it and I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna take this risk. I'm sick and tired of being stuck. And typically that's how change happens, right? You get to a point of pain, deep pain, you're like, I'm sick and tired of this. If I lose it all, fuck it, I lose it all. But I refuse to live like this. I refuse to live in protection mode. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to finally drop my armor. We launched the new product and right off the bat, our first month was $150,000, $180,000 a month. And we started doing 200K a month. And that was the first year the business actually broke past the 1.3 million mark and we did 1.7 million, right? So it created a really good trajectory for us to grow. And I realized that I should have taken this risk 2 years ago. I was moving too slow because I was afraid. And it's funny because a lot of the times business owners think they're lacking the right strategies and tactics. 99% of the time, it's the limited mindset and perspective. They're holding on to something. They're afraid of something. Their fear is what's causing this. Some internal incongruency is causing what they're experiencing. Something they're holding to be true is causing the lack of growth that they're experiencing. And I'm working very, very closely with with a couple of startup founders who've raised like over 180 million right now. And what I'm noticing is the reason their business isn't getting the kind of traction that they want to see is because the partners aren't working congruently together. The two partners are always clashing against each other, right? So there isn't a congruence and synergy in how they work. And once they fix that, I know it's going to take off. Because I gave them the analogy, it's like if you watch Premier League soccer, there was a team, Manchester United, had a really great coach, Sir Alex Ferguson, who would take mediocre players, make them work so well together, and the team won championship after championship. But then after he left, the team had a lot of money because they won a lot of championships under him. But after he retired, no one else was able to replicate that kind of success. The team sucked, and they started to bring in all these expensive, really good players, but these individuals were never, the sum of the parts were never really greater than the whole working together in synergy. So I told him, like, if your whole team starts working synergistically together, you're going to be like Manchester United was back when they were winning championship after championship. So this is the key, right? This is the key that makes all the shift happen, the internal work. The external work is just a reflection. It's just an effect of the correct internal work. So that's one thing I learned, and the key I want you to take away from this is, when are you living in protection? When you're making decisions, there's always two parts of you. When you're about to make a big critical decision, whether it be like making an investment in a program that you knew you had to, or a business strategy, or hiring someone key, or quitting your job, check in with yourself at that critical moment. Because you're going to notice one part of you is afraid and wants to retreat, and another part of you knows this is the right thing to do. Okay, this year, I actually spent the most I have on my business and personal development. So I'll pull it up over here. I shared this earlier with my email list. I've spent over $240,000 on my personal development and investing in my business. And I've never spent that much in 1 year before. And every single time I made a decision to invest, I was actually afraid. But I knew this was the right thing to do. And you know what? Not every single one of them has yielded a direct result yet. But I know that down the line, one day, the lessons that I learned from it, I'm going to need. It's going to be reminders. My subconscious is still storing these memories, right? So I say this because I made these decisions even though we had the worst Q2 of our business. Like, it wasn't the worst ever, but it was a really bad Q2 compared to how good Q1 was, okay? So, and during that time, we had a very big turnover in the business. Like, everything was changing. We had to, let go of 2 people and then hire 2 new people and everything, and train them from scratch. And so we were pretty much bleeding money. And I've never seen that before in my business. And so I was waking up every single day anxious in the middle of the night, just cold sweats, like uncertain about the future. And that's when I came to all of these realizations that, hey, this is just the game, but the game has now become too serious. And now I'm living in protection mode. This anxiety is telling me that I'm playing defense. I'm closed off. And you can never receive if you're closed off. You can only receive if you're open, you're expansive, and you take risks, and you don't waste time in doubts and hesitation. Doubt and hesitation is the biggest time waster. And even in the Bhagavad Gita, like, there's a great saying on this. I can't remember right now, but I'll pull it up here. But doubts and hesitation are what's preventing you from experiencing the thing and receiving the thing that you want to receive, that you know you deserve. And the only reason that's happening is because you're closed off. You're not open. So one of the biggest lessons I learned, and I learned this from Brene Brown, is when you're confronted with a situation that is very, very uncomfortable, people have 2 reactions. They either puff up and try to be bigger than they are, or they shrink down. Don't puff up, don't shrink down. Drop your armor, allow yourself to be seen as you are. Be like a child. Allow yourself to be seen as you are. Don't try to fake strength. Don't try to fake confidence. Don't try to play the victim either. Just be in that moment. Get comfortable in losing. Get comfortable in the uncertainty. Because most people, they try to hold on to certainty. If you live in certainty, you're going to experience what you have been experiencing. Begin living in uncertainty. Take risks, take leaps in your life. Walk uncharted terrains, and you're going to see the kind of change that happens, the kind of growth that happens. Always look for your next edge to take the leap off of, okay? It is in uncertainty that we find our true selves, when we don't have mind-invented structures to hang on to. It's the structures of the ego that keep us stuck and little where we are. But when we let go of our personal intention and unite it with the godly intention, the outer intention, and fate, we become who we're meant to be. So, if you'd like to work closer together with me in our personal mentorship, I invite you to click this link right here to apply, or go to realitycreator.com/apply. We've been getting some crazy results for our clients recently. Our client Ubaid, our client Sukhdev, our client Dario, who recently just almost doubled his profitability in his business within less than a year of working with us. So if you'd like results like this, it can only happen when a permanent internal shift happens, and that's what we specialize in with our clients. Allowing you to step into your true self, shift your identity into who you are meant to be, and remove all those false conditionings. Because unfortunately, we have collected these experiences kind of like viruses in our computer. And all you need to do is just wipe away the viruses, the negative programming, and the sun is free to shine forth. So if you'd like to take advantage of that, make the rest of 2024 your year, I invite you to click here to apply. This is for you if you're an entrepreneur, if you're someone who's at work for yourself, or you simply just want to take your life to the next level and you've tried different tactics and strategies, but it's not a doing problem, it's a being problem. You haven't learned how to embody who you must become to achieve what you want. So click right here to apply to work with me, and I'm looking forward to seeing if it's going to be a fit. And if you qualify, we'll make you an offer and we'll see how we can get you that transformation.